to have the success stories from countries like Turkey, Finland, Mexico, and show the world that if you know where to look, how to look, there are opportunities everywhere, and with less money investments, with less investments, and those investments will in return will help the world to become a better place. Definitely. Because it will help developing economies.
Welcome to WITT. Hi, I'm Megan. I talk with founders, investors and operators working in tech. My aim is to inspire you with their stories and perspectives. Through this podcast, I want to amplify the voice of women working in tech. If you want to support WITT, then make sure you follow us on your favourite podcasting app. Then you won't miss any future episodes.
Today's guest is Ahu, Turkish entrepreneur and investor who leads Fark Holdings and champions women-led startups through the Arya Women's Investment Platform. Let's get into it.
Hi Ahu, welcome to WITT. It's great to have you on the podcast.
Hi Megan, it's great to be with you.
It's great to be with you too. Okay, so I would love to kick off our conversation with a lightning round. Is that okay?
Let's.
Awesome. Okay, so first question is, what's one tech trend that you think is very overrated?
I didn't expect that. Very overrated.
Yeah.
Well, it tends to change from time to time.
Of course.
I think nowadays I could say the NFTs, it has become overrated. So maybe some of the trends that we have today will become overrated soon as well.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Therefore, I don't want to pronounce any current trends.
Fair enough. Nice. Okay, second question. What does mobility mean to you in one word or one sentence?
Freedom to move for everybody.
Nice. Love it. Third question. What does success mean to you? So what's your personal definition?
Well, at the exit.
Okay.
So at the end of your life, that everybody talks about you and are happy that they have been with you during the journey. So it's like, we're glad we got to know Ahu.
Nice.
That's enough.
I love that.
Yeah.
Question number 4. What is your favorite dog breed?
Poodle.
Next question. What is a founder trait that you can really easily spot?
Resilience or persistence, I think, is very important. And you can spot it by doing random things with the founder. So I usually don't go straight into the due diligence and all that, but I like to spend time with the founders, and then you can test these traits much better.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I love that. Next question. What's one thing women investors do better than men, or many things, I'm sure?
Learning.
Being
open to learning.
It's a very simple one, but I feel like definitely very true.
Yeah.
Next question. If a young you walked into your office today, what would you tell?
Well, enjoy the path. Stay on it. Don't really care what others think about you.
Nice. Classic. Question number 8. What's one skill every future leader you think should master?
Communication.
Nice. Makes sense.
Yeah.
And then second to last question. How many pairs of trainers do you own? And which one is your favorite?
Oh, you got me there. I would say more than 20.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay, so which one's the
Which
favorite?
one I liked? I love my Rolling Stone ones from Skechers. I actually have 2.
Nice.
That goes with different colors, with the different suits that I wear to work. So I always wear those trainers.
Love it. Okay, and then last question for the lightning round is, if you had to describe your entrepreneurial journey in 3 emojis, what would they be and why?
One would be surfer.
Nice.
The other one would be rocket.
Yep.
The other one would be party.
Okay. And then, okay, so
Why?
Why those emojis?
Why? Because I really like my entrepreneurial journey. I kind of take it like the way I want to flow in life. Surfing means you have to wait for the right wave to come to you. So you have to be very patient. So looking for opportunities is my job. and then you catch that great wave, and it's not always great. So you think a wave is going to be great. You don't know, but you get on it anyways. You enjoy, you ride it as long as you can.
Yep.
And then when the wave subsides, you hope that you found another one to get on. So I really like that surfing analogy, and it's fun and it's colorful, and you do it with the fun people.
Yeah.
Rocket means, I'm not really happy with small waves only. So there needs to be some rocket ship behavior as well. And the fun part, you
Yeah.
like the people, you learn with them, you have fun with them. I think it's good enough.
Yeah, definitely. I love those emojis. Very,
Mm,
very interesting. But that was really awesome. Thank you for answering my
Thank you.
lightning round questions. And let's now move on to your journey, right? So you first started your career in a very kind of fast-paced world of international capital markets before then returning to Turkey to take on a kind of more senior role, I think, in your family's industrial group. Looking back on those experiences, how do you think those experiences shaped the leader that you are today and the person that you are today?
Well, remember the wave analogy. Actually, life brings you a lot of waves, and it is very important to time them,
Right.
to get on them, and also to get out of them. So, and most of the time we think as human beings that everything is related to what we want to do, to our decisions, but then we leave the outside world out of our decisions, which I think is very wrong.
Right.
So most of the decisions I made, like coming back to Turkey, wasn't an internal decision. It was, of course, I wanted to come and take over the family business. But then the economic cycle in the US and in Turkey and the things, what's going on around the world, also should matter when you're taking these decisions. So I had to live 9/11, in New York. So it was devastating for everybody. My family, I had one daughter at that time, and I was pregnant with my second, and my husband and I were working in New York. So although we had a great life, after 9/11, we were almost sure that at least a couple of years, not much, was going to happen in New York. So it was a shock and a trauma, and the city and even the country needed time to process it.
Right.
Also, even, being Turkish and being Muslim also doesn't really help the situation. So, okay, do you insist in staying at the current position, or do you look for another opportunity? So there was already an offer from the family to come and to take over, but then at the same time, Turkey had went to a very upward economic cycle. That was a single party domination came to power, and then for between 2012, even 13, Turkey had a great economic time. So timing wise, it was a great decision coming there and then being a part of that wave. It helped us a lot. So it's all about, the impact, the timing of the wave, the impact of the wave, and what you do with it is your decision. So I think it was a great one for me. And then it was also a time where the family company was fast growing, and I got to be a part of a very fast growing company.
Yeah.
And I contributed to it too. I think this leadership stuff, we think and talk a lot about it, but a lot of it is overrated. It's like I'm a trader. It's like a trading decision. So you find a great trading idea, but if you wait too long or if you are too rushing into it, so it's the idea of the trade and it's the timing of the execution.
Yeah.
So those things matter, and those things matter in real life decisions as well. Those trading principles I always try to bring to my own life.
Yeah, definitely. That makes a lot of sense. I mean, a lot of from what I can see and what I've when I did my research for this episode, your majority of your life is a lot about like kind of mobility and moving around and changing into these different positions, right? And we talked a little bit about this in the lightning round, and you said in your questions that mobility is being in the middle of a once in a century transformation.
Yeah.
First off, what does that mean? What does that mean?
Okay. First of all, let's come to the philosophy of this
Okay.
freedom to move thing, and that a person who is very open to moving in life, in careers and stuff. So I really believe that I call it the changing the pot theory.
Okay.
So, you put a seed on a pot and then you try to grow it.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it grows very well, and then you need to change the pot for it to grow further.
Right.
And sometimes it doesn't grow, then it gives you the signal, change my pot,
Right.
or
Okay.
change the way, like I get too much sun here, or you give me too much water. So
Mm-hmm.
it's time for a change. I think it's very important to get these signals for change in life. That is why I am a very mobile person,
Mm-hmm.
not only geographically, but also idea wise and the career wise. So I'm not afraid of moving, because every time you move, and so it's the idea of moving, the timing of the moving. If they turn out to be right, they will always help you grow further. So coming to mobility, my family business after Wall Street, I came, and then it was in automotive parts. Totally unsexy,
No.
very small business. And then, well, I started thinking, how can I make it a global business, like part of a bigger thing? And that was a great ride. But I was always thinking that, like, as a supplier, you are always, your ideas don't matter. You are responsible of turning other people's ideas into reality.
Yeah.
It's almost like, your customer tells you, don't think, just do. And so it wasn't really my cup of coffee. And then I was always looking like, can I find an area where I can put my own thinking, my own speed, in order to grow my own company, of course,
Mm-hmm.
but the impact that I'm having in this life. So, and then mobility gave us a very good chance, because automotive was about making cars,
Yep.
and now mobility is about making people move, and
Right.
the medium doesn't really matter. So, and it's from A to B, especially you young people, giving us a lot of inspiration, by saying that I don't need to own a car anymore. I don't even need to have a driver's license. I just want to get from point A to B,
Mm-hmm.
with the least friction I can have, or with the most fun I can have,
Yeah.
or whatever. So these are good customers. I love new customers who puts out challenging questions.
Yeah.
So, and mobility, at the beginning of the industrial revolution, they went from the regular horse pulled cars to motor cars with engines.
Mm-hmm.
And then automotive hasn't really changed that much in the past 100 years. And now everything is changing. All these mobility as a service models, flying cars, delivery systems, so many things are coming into our lives. That is why I think it's a great time to be in mobility.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a vast array of opportunities. It's hard to navigate, but I think it's exciting. It's a great set of waves that
Definitely,
can be caught.
definitely. Mobility is definitely a really interesting space, because there's so many ways that you can think about it, in terms of, like, buses and trains and helicopters and all of those different vehicles. It's a really
Yeah.
interesting industry.
And and don't think only about vehicles and stuff. Like, think about migration. So
Like
freedom
birds.
to move. No, people even.
Okay.
So freedom to move, just it makes me think a whole different set of problems and solutions. So all the countries in a world that where all the countries are trying to restrict the mobility of the people who they think don't belong to their population preference, let's say. But and maybe by doing that, they're losing a big opportunity. And some are going to get older and older. They're going to lose that agile spirit. So you're going to get rich and old, comfortable, but then maybe they're not going to have a legacy to follow. So all those questions are also related to mobility. So mobility is a big question, actually, for everybody to think about, and it has so many aspects.
Yeah.
That's why I really enjoy thinking about it
Yeah,
and
no,
working in it.
I can tell that it's a
Yeah.
passion of yours, which is always
Yes.
good. It's always good.
Yeah.
A little bit on the same line, I want to talk about, I think I'm saying this correctly, Fark Holding.
Fark Labs. Yeah. Fark Holding.
Fark Holding. Yeah. That's the family business, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Yes.
So it's a conglomerate of industrials, automotive parts, other stuff.
Yeah.
And Fark means creating a difference in Turkish.
Really?
Yeah, that's why it's called Fark. So it's not fart, it's Fark.
Okay. Yeah, that's good.
My American friends always make fun of me.
That's a really cool name, actually. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's a family business, and it's kind of orientated into a global innovation ecosystem under your leadership, of course. And I want to kind of understand, like, what are some of the kind of tough decisions that you had to make during that evolution? Because that is quite a big gap.
Yes. And so Fark Holding, it's a holding company with all these legacy companies. And my initial idea was to create an innovation arm that will carry these legacy companies to the future, to future technologies and stuff, like investing in adjacent technologies and also technologies of tomorrow and the day after even.
Right.
So I started it within the company. But then in time, I saw that that's not going to be as fast as I hope it would be because it is within the legacy company.
Right.
So if you want to really create a difference faster, better, and cheaper, I thought you need external innovation and you need to be very independent and free from everybody else, everything else, every aspect that goes into managing a legacy company. So what I did is I separated the innovation investment arm. It's called Fark Labs. So it's a lab for experiments. And it's okay if you fail. But in a holding, if you fail, there are consequences. So nobody wants to experiment anymore.
Right.
So we separated all these. And then I became the entrepreneur of the lab and then told the holding, it's our shareholders, I'm going to take the risk. I'm the entrepreneur. I'm going to put my own money. You can be a client as a holding. You can invest with me. You can innovate with me as much as you like. That is fitting to your risk appetite.
Right.
But in Fark Labs, I'm alone and I don't want anybody to have a bottleneck for me. So it was a spin-off, and I've been doing that for the past 4 years. So I'm still the president of the legacy companies, but I am the entrepreneur and the founder of an innovation investment company. And what we tell our clients, everybody, is, so you spend so much time into measuring risk. There's the risk department, there's the risk officer. Who's measuring the opportunities that you have lost, for example, or you have gained? Like, most of the time, the opportunities just pass under our nose and we don't know about them.
Yeah.
So I wanted Fark Labs to become the opportunity officer for companies or countries or people, whoever want to use it, And of course, I'm using it for my own assets, first of all. So I'm an investor. I invest. We have a portfolio of 70 companies in different fields, not only mobility. It's food, health, life sciences, materials, robotics, sustainability. So, and we call it anything that makes the world a better place. So those technologies, energy, renewable energy sources. And then we started working also with corporations in order to do their future mapping, all the strategies. It's like a mental gym that you come for innovation. Because innovation cannot be learned just by training people, like presentations and stuff. You have to exercise it with the people who are actually innovating, and you have to care about them. So that's what we're doing in Fark Labs. And this is how I solve the problem. I think these innovation teamed experiments need to be done separately from the company by using the power of maybe the legacy company, but not allowing them to become bottlenecks in terms of the exploration.
That's really interesting, kind of making space for learning and exploring different topics and industries, and then kind of still having that backing from investors and stuff like that. Yeah, that's a really good idea, honestly.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. Well, I'm experimenting
yeah.
and finding out new ways. Now we have two funds
Uh-huh.
also. So it's we do innovation consultancy
Mm-hmm.
for corporations. Then we help startups with their growth trajectory. So we take them global, like we find them anywhere. Also, Finland is also an area that we are looking
Right.
into that we like, because you find really good startups that are good in value, good in talent,
Mm-hmm.
but because Finland is so small, they need to go out of Finland, and we bring them through our office in the
Yeah.
US, to the US market. And we have two funds. One is about future industries,
Mm-hmm.
so all these different disciplines, and one is only mobility tech specific. We invest in mobility. And that's in mobility. It's my second fund. One was F Plus Ventures. So that fund closed, and this is the second batch.
Nice. Very, very interesting. Now, okay, so talking about investing, right? You also
Mm.
have the I no the A Arya
Arya?
Arya
Arya.
Arya
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Arya Women's Investment Platform.
Platform.
Yeah, and I think it's become like one of the most influential female focused investment
Yeah.
communities in the kind of region. Now, tell me about it a little bit. Tell
Yeah.
me
Sure.
what's happening with that.
Well, have you seen the show Game of Thrones?
I've seen parts of it.
Do you remember the little Arya Stark?
Yeah.
That ended up saving the world?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So she was a small creature that nobody cared about at
So
the beginning of the
so
show.
it's
And
named
at the end,
it's named
yes. Well, there is more to it. So
Okay.
I was watching it, and I had two girls at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I was watching Arya at the beginning, I didn't know she was going to save the world, but
Right.
I resonated with her strength and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, women are born that way, and then something happens to them and they lose that self-confidence and this wittiness and all that.
Right.
What happens to us? And then I said, well, if I have another daughter,
Mm-hmm.
another girl, I will name her Arya. And then I want to build something that will help women to find their strength. And I had another girl.
Nice.
Her name is Arya.
Lovely.
Conveniently, Arya is now 13 years old. And so this female investment platform was about changing the world through female leadership.
Mm-hmm.
But first, we needed to start for women to gain their freedom, to understand about what makes a person powerful in this world. And currently, money helps a lot.
Yeah.
For a women to know how to invest, how to make money, how to assert money as an assertion of influence, learning all these things.
Right.
They were, and especially 13 years ago when nobody was doing it, it was a very valid starting chapter. So we did, and we have now more than 550 members around the world.
Wow.
Professionals, entrepreneurs, business owners.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have an accredited angel investment network. We invested more than $6 million.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have a gender lens investment fund, VC fund, that is $20 million.
Wow.
And so far, invested in 22 businesses that has at least one female co-founder. So that's the thesis. So it's not a female founder platform.
Mm-hmm.
It is a gender balanced platform. And so we believe in diversity, and hence, every product needs to evolve. I also believe that for the companies. And so we remove the women now from the equation. It's Arya investment platform because now men want to be a part of this platform too. So through Fark Labs, we work with corporations
Mm-hmm.
for their opportunities, and with individuals, we work through our, even people who want to discover themselves. Today, you are a professional. Tomorrow, you can be an entrepreneur. You can be a founder. You can be an investor. So we live in a world that these lines are not so clear cut anymore. And then we need platforms like Arya to teach you that, and then by experiencing and getting to know people who have already done so with different experiences.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, that's so cool because it's a investment kind of platform that is obviously now evolving into kind of just generally across industries and across gender biases and all
Yes.
of that sort of thing, which is awesome. I would say that you are someone who champions women entrepreneurship and kind of invests heavily in next gen technologies. Would you say that's accurate?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Awesome.
And also I'm an opportunity hunter
Yeah.
for people or for things that the world
Mm-hmm.
doesn't immediately discover, let's
Yeah.
say. And I think women are that kind of
Yeah. The
group.
diamond in the
Young
rough
people
kind of
are,
thing.
scientists are, people from countries like Turkey are,
Mm-hmm.
Mexico are,
Yeah.
the world thinks that the companies or people who are coming from these countries are just good for, like, as a source of cheap labor,
Mm.
where if they were to realize the kind of passion, talent, uh, and the value they could drive from these countries, that would help the world,
Mm-hmm.
help all the developing countries, and also help the developed countries as well.
Definitely.
Everybody needs innovation and change, so that's why it's also a holistic thing for me. Anybody who wants change, they are not the most comfortable ones in the world,
Mm.
so you have to go to the uncomfortable, because those are the ones you can make really big impact.
Definitely. I totally agree. I think that it's we've got so many world problems at the moment, especially at
Mhm.
the moment, and it's a world problem. It's not a country problem, you
Yes.
know?
And most of the problems are made by older
Yeah.
people
Yeah. Yeah.
who have very few time left to their exit,
Uh-huh.
but are still making big decisions about a lot of people's future who have
Exactly.
many, many years to live. And I think it's not right.
Yeah. Same. But let's switch gears a little bit. I want to talk about your framework. So you gave me the framework of P compass. What's that?
What 6P?
Yes.
6Ps. So, I'm a very fast engager.
Mm-hmm.
So I meet somebody in Iran in the park, I bring them home
Okay.
to stay with me for 2 months.
Why not?
We had so many brilliant people through that methodology.
Okay.
I'm so lucky and happy to have met all these amazing
Mm-hmm.
people. Like a couple I met from Mexico 12 years ago in Turkey.
Mm-hmm.
Now the husband is managing my factory in Mexico.
Wow. Crazy.
All these random encounters are not random at all if you have a framework.
Mm.
So, and what's that framework? It's a person. In order to engage to that person very fast without thinking, that person needs to have 6Ps. So 6Ps is actually the traits of an entrepreneurial mindset, having an open mind.
Right.
So it's the first P is purpose.
Mm-hmm.
That person needs to have a purpose. Then that person needs to have a passion for that purpose.
Right.
They have to have the strength, the persistence, in order to reach that purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Then there needs to be progress, because this is the how of reaching the purpose.
Right.
That person needs to ask themselves all the time, like, what is next?
Mm-hmm.
What is next? Progress. And then people, he or she needs to care about other people.
Yep.
And how the world perceives what we are doing, and planet. So it's about caring about what you do matches what the planet
Mm-hmm.
needs. So 6Ps. As long as a person has 6Ps, I don't care what nationality, what religion, what industry, what age,
Mm-hmm.
it's a people engager.
Yeah.
So you can do business with them, you can be friends with them, you can travel with them, you can cry with them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my framework. Not that
Yeah.
complicated.
Very, very simple. I like it.
Yeah.
How
And then
often?
people
Yeah.
ask me, like, how do you measure?
Yeah.
I'm like, it's you have to experience, you have to be open, and do it over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
And then you will fail.
Yeah.
Sometimes, one or two P's may be missing. You will find out with some of the people that you trust. That's
Mm-hmm.
okay. It is not enough reason not to pursue that framework to others.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love it. It's such a simple framework, but you can definitely branch it across pretty much your entire kind of life. How
Yes,
often do you find these people with the six P's?
all the
All the
time.
time.
You would be
That's good.
surprised.
I'm glad.
If you start looking,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, solutions start appear. And so every Friday, like last night, I had to go to a gallery to see some kind of a performance art. And then
Right.
my friends are asking me like, can we meet? And I said, I'm going there if you want to come. So during the week, I promised like 20 people that at the end, I even forget whom I promised. So 1 hour before, when people text me, it's like, I'm going to text you the address. So I ended up with 6 people in the gallery who has not met each other before.
Right.
One Italian, one French, one Portuguese, 3 Turks
Mm-hmm.
from different disciplines.
Right.
And then we went to that gallery. Then we took the galleries together, and then we went to the studio of a philosophy moderator.
Mm-hmm.
So she's very famous on YouTube, and then met her. And then we went to dinner and to a bar.
Mm-hmm.
So
Love it.
that's my everyday.
Okay.
And then at the end of the night, everybody were friends, and they were already talking about mutual projects and doing
Lovely.
things. It's amazing. It's like surfing. You don't know with whom you're surfing, but you get on it. I hate people when they ask so many questions like, how are we going to get there, and who are there, what are they doing, how old are they? Like, they want to pre-qualify all the encounters in their lives.
Right.
It's not me.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
That's good. That's good, because then you have the kind of curiosity to listen and to learn from other people, which is I think
Yeah.
is one of the most important skills that you can have as just a general person in
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
in this
And the
crazy
French
world.
girl was 20, only 20.
Nice.
It's great to have young people.
Mm-hmm.
And she's an Erasmus student in Istanbul. And she was complaining that all her friends are other Erasmus students, so she doesn't meet the Turks. I said, okay, I'm going to introduce you to some young Turks. And then I invited 2 of them
Uh-huh.
to the same night, to the next station. And they met.
Nice.
So
Very cool. Yeah, no, that's great that there are people that have your 6 P's. It's very, very good to have that passion and purpose and all of the others. Let's move into story time, because it's now story time.
Mhm.
And I want to know what happened with you turning a family hotel into an art field cultural space. Now, how did that happen? I feel like you have a lot of very random stories, but this is pretty.
Well, first of all, my father was approaching 65, and then we were still in the same company.
Right.
And he's a great father and a leader. He's strong. I'm strong.
Mm-hmm.
So I told him, Father, this cannot go on for a long time. One of us needs to go away.
Right.
And I think it should be you. So, and he was great. And he said, yes, okay. Then I'm going to go, and I have some dreams to fulfill anyway. So
Right.
then he moved to another town. Bodrum is like the Saint-Tropez of Turkey. I said, I'm going to go to Bodrum. And then he moved. But he's also like me. He has a lot of projects and everything. And my mother. So their dream was to make a big home. They're art collectors.
Right.
So they wanted to invite all their artist friends and
Right.
everybody there for them to enjoy art together.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, I said, oh, okay, it's a good concept, but I think it should not be a house, and it should not be only limited to the people that you know, because there may be many people in the world like you, but you will never be able to find them, if you don't have a more open conversation.
Right.
So
Makes
I came
sense.
up with the idea of turning that home into a hotel, art hotel.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Casa del Arte, and Casa del Arte means in Latin house of art.
Love it.
So, and the idea was everybody around the world who is interested in art want to see our collection, but also wants to share about their experiences and stuff. They would find us, and we did. They listened. So we put the collection inside, and it became a hotel. Since 2006, we've been running it.
Wow.
And I met the best people in my life through that hotel, really. I
Crazy.
mean, kings, princes, oligarchs, great artists, amazing people, young people,
So cool. Yeah.
So and then people, I have a lot of financier friends, and then they come and said, oh, you don't make money, it's only 12 rooms, like it's not really a proper hotel business. And I tell them, it's not always return on investment should not always be measured in financial terms. I have another KPI that is called return on people.
Yeah.
Some assets bring you the best people. And this experience has brought me a really, really cool network.
Yeah, definitely.
Of amazing people.
Yeah, and you can definitely say that the financial aspect is not important because you have the return on people, and that's so much more valuable most of the time.
Exactly. And also by adding all these concepts to the property and everything, your asset appreciates. So it's not always the return you get like on a daily basis or a quarterly basis, but it is and I call it the mental share. So there's always rental share that is measured in usual financial terms, but the mental share, the concept you put it, and what kind of people are coming to it, and how long do they keep coming into that place, and all that, those are mental share, and you also have to invest in the mental share.
Right, totally makes sense. But that was a really cool story. Thank you so much for telling me it. But we're sadly coming to the end of the episode, but I do have 3 final questions for you. So the first one is, imagine it's 2035, so in 10 years time. What does your company look like? What does your life look like? What do you hope to achieve? What's happening?
It's a great question that I ask myself every day.
Okay, so you have the right answer then.
Well, being the surfer I am, so I cannot precisely tell you where I'm going to be. I may have different nice waves to ride that I haven't foreseen before, but I want to be a really cool grandmother.
Nice.
So first of all, to spend a lot of time with my grandchildren. And I told the girls, wherever you are in the world, whenever you need me, I come and solve your problems. So that's my first priority.
Okay, got it.
Business-wise, Fark Labs, I hope this business will take me to really interesting places because it is a tool for curiosity and opportunity.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping to discover as much as I can for myself, for my clients, for the funds, to have the success stories from countries like Turkey, Finland, Mexico, and show the world that if you know where to look, how to look, there are opportunities everywhere, and with less money investments, with less investments, and those investments will in return will help the world to become a better place. Definitely. Because it will help developing economies, and also that will give an opportunity for these kind of people to educate their children and see more of their lives and stuff. So that's my aim.
Love it. I love the goals. Second question, how can listeners follow along with your journey?
I think LinkedIn is good. LinkedIn, Ahu Serter, or Instagram, Ahu Serter, same. Instagram, I do more fun stuff.
Lovely.
LinkedIn and more serious stuff. I'm working on my website, but with all these things, the AIs and stuff, so nothing really seems good enough to me.
Okay.
So
fair enough.
I have a bit of a conundrum, but LinkedIn and Instagram are the best ways for now.
Great. And then last question, how can listeners be useful to you? So what can they do to kind of help you?
Well, if they think they have 6 Ps, and if they think that what I'm doing can be a part of what they're doing, or they can be a part of what I'm doing, I'm more than welcome to contact me. By the way, I have had my best friends, like people very close to me, through podcasts, really, because I really believe that these podcasts, if you are able to explain yourself really well, it's a great way of getting your message across and finding people who would like to be partners with you in terms of dreams and goals. So
definitely.
So I'm very open to that.
Awesome.
And thank you for giving me this opportunity too.
Yeah,
it's great.
It's been great. Thank you so much for
these questions
coming on my podcast.
from a young person.
Yeah, no, definitely. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I really appreciate it. But yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and I will also follow on your progress and hope that we can be part of each other's adventures.
Awesome. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed this week's episode. To make sure you don't miss next week's episode, follow us on your favourite podcasting app. Do consider leaving us a review as it helps the podcast tremendously.